Have you ever woken up feeling tired, even after a full night's sleep? Not the tiredness that comes from hard work, but a quieter kind, the kind that lingers. You sit at the edge of the bed, morning light slips through the window, the house is silent, and yet, inside, something already feels heavy. You make your coffee, you stretch your shoulders, you tell yourself, this is just part of getting older. But somewhere deep inside, you feel that isn't the whole truth. Many people over 50 live this way without naming it. They aren't sick, they aren't lazy, they aren't broken, they are simply tired. In a way rest alone doesn't fix. Here at Wisdom Quiet, we don't rush to label the body. We listen to it, because the body speaks softly, and when it speaks, it usually asks for something very simple: safety, slowness, a breath that doesn't feel rushed. So before we continue, let's pause together. Just for a moment. You don't need to sit straighter. You don't need to breathe deeper. Just allow one gentle breath in through your nose and let it fall out naturally. Nothing to achieve, nothing to improve. For centuries, monks, elders, and quiet observers of life noticed something modern life often forgets. When the breath becomes hurried, the nervous system never fully rests, even while the body sleeps. And when the breath becomes gentle again, something inside begins to remember how to settle, not all at once, but enough to feel hopeful. In this video, we won't chase energy, we won't force healing. We'll explore a way of breathing that invites the body back into balance, without strain, without pressure. If this moment feels familiar, if something in you has softened instead of tensed, you're exactly where you need to be. If these quiet reflections resonate with you, you may gently like this video. Not for the algorithm, but as a small acknowledgement to yourself. You're also welcome to subscribe to Wisdom Quiet if you'd like to return to moments like this again, and if someone you love carries a tiredness they can't explain. You might consider sharing this video with them. If you feel called, you can leave a comment below. Not to impress, just to say, I'm here, now. Let's begin, because the body does not heal when it is pushed. It heals when it finally feels safe enough to breathe. Asterisk, there is a kind of tiredness that doesn't show up on medical charts. You sit in a quiet exam room. The doctor looks at your results and says, everything looks normal. Your heart is fine. Your blood work is fine. Your numbers are fine. And yet, later that day, you sit in your car for a moment longer than usual before, going inside your home, not because you're lazy, not because you don't love it, life waiting for you inside, but because your body feels empty. Many people in their 50s, 60s, and beyond live with this kind of fatigue. Every day, they wake up already tired. They move through their mornings slowly. By afternoon, even small decisions feel heavier than they should. And because there is no clear diagnosis, they begin to turn inward with quiet doubt. Maybe this is just what aging feels like. Maybe I should stop complaining. Others seem to manage, why can't I? But this fatigue is not weakness. And it is not a failure of character. It is the fatigue that comes from never fully resting on the inside. Think about how long your body has been alert. Years of responsibility, years of showing up, years of being strong when it was required of you, raising children, caring for aging parents, meeting expectations. Carrying worries you never spoke out loud. Slowly, the body adapts. It learns to stay ready. It learns to stay guarded. It learns to breathiest if something might go wrong. So even when you lie down at night, even when your muscles soften, your nervous system stays awake. This is why sleep doesn't always restore you. This is why rest can feel shallow. This is why slowing down doesn't automatically bring energy back, because of the exhaustion isn't coming from what you're doing, it's coming from how your body has learned to exist. Many doctors are trained to look for illness. They are not always trained. Notice chronic inner vigilance. A body can be healthy and still exhausted, not because it is broken, but because it no longer remembers shared safety feels like. Before we move on, take a moment with this gentle question. You don't need to answer it. Just notice what arises. When was the last time your body felt truly unguarded? Not productive, not useful, just safe. This realization changes something important, because when we understand this kind of fatigue, we stop fighting our bodies, we stop forcing motivation, we stop blaming ourselves, and instead, we begin to listen. The body is not asking for more effort, it is asking for a different relationship, one based on reassurance, then pressure, on gentleness rather than control, and that relationship begins in a place so ordinarily most of us overlook it, the breath. In the next part, we'll explore how breathing, something you've done your entire life, can quietly keep the body in survival mode without you even realizing it. And more importantly, how a simple shift in breath can begin to guide the nervous system from constant alertness back to support. Asterisk, most of us believe breathing is automatic, something the body takes care of on its own. And in many ways, that's true, but what often goes unnoticed is that while breathing never stops, the way we breathe quietly changes with how we live. You may recognize this in yourself. There's a moment many people know. Well, you're running late. You glance at the clock. Your shoulders lift slightly. Your jaw tightens. Your breath becomes shallow, almost silent. You don't stop to notice it. You simply move faster. Now picture a different moment. It's early evening. You're sitting outside or by a window. The day has already happened. Nothing is asking anything from you. Your shoulders soften. Your belly loosens. Your breath slows on its own. Same lungs, same body, very different messages being sent inside. One says, stay ready. The other says, you are safe. Over years of responsibility, many of us begin to breathiest. If the first message never ends, the chest rises more than the belly. Inhales, short, and exhales are cut off before they finish. This is not wrong breathing, it is protective breathing. It develops slowly through deadlines, caretaking, losses, and the habit of always needing to hold things together. Eventually, the body forgets how to stand down. Even during rest, even during sleep, the breath continues to signal alertness, keeping the nervous system slightly awake. This is why fatigue can feel constant. This is why calm can feel unfamiliar. This is why stillness can feel oddly uncomfortable. The breath has quietly changed roles. It no longer supports rest, it supports survival. Many people try to correct this by taking deeper breaths, but forcing the breath deep sends the opposite message. The body hears effort, not safety, so the chest tightens, the shoulders rise, and the nervous system stays on guard. Here is the gentle truth. The body does not relax because the breath is deep. It relaxes spares. The breath is UNTHREATENING. Slow, soft, UNFORCED. Think of a sleeping child. The belly rises and falls. Quietly, there is no control, no improvement, no intention. That is the breath of support, and when adults lose access to it, fatigue takes its place, not as punishment, but as a message, a quiet one. Before we move on, sit with this reflection for a moment. You don't need to change anything yet. Just notice, right now, is your breath helping you rest, or helping you stay ready? Awareness always comes first. In the next part, we'll look at what monks, elders, and quiet observers of life noticed long ago, by simply watching nature, animals, and infants. They saw that the body already knows how to breathe for healing. It only needs permission to return to that rhythm. Asterisk, if you've ever wondered why your body feels tired even on days when you haven't done very much, this part is for you. Long before anyone spoke about stress, burnout, or nervous systems, there were people who learned simply by watching life, high in the mountains and inside quiet monasteries. Monks spent years observing what moves, what rests, and what naturally returns to balance. They did not analyze numbers. They did not chase productivity. They watched animals sleeping in the sun, breathing slowly, deeply. Without effort, they watched trees bend with the wind, never resisting, never holding tension longer than necessary. They watched babies sleeping, their bellies rising and falling softly, as if the body itself remembered something we later forgot. And from these simple observations, a quiet truth revealed itself. Nothing in nature breathes in a hurry unless it is afraid. A deer grazes calmly until it senses danger. In that moment, the breath rises, the body prepares. The system shifts into survival, but when the danger passes, the breath naturally returns to the belly, the body releases. Life continues. This rhythm exists in you as well. The difference is, the modern life rarely tells your body when the danger is over. We sit for long hours. We drive in silence, gripping the steering wheel. We scroll our phones at night, even while lying in bed meant for rest. Outwardly, nothing is wrong, but inwardly, the breath stays alert, high, shallow, always ready, and so the body never fully arrives. The monks noticed something most people miss. Fatigue does not come from effort alone. It comes from effort without release, from days that never truly end, from tension that never fully dissolves, from breathing that forgets you to let go. In nature, everything moves in cycles. Day becomes night, movement becomes stillness, inhale becomes exhale, and then silence. But when silence disappears from the breath, the body begins to whisper through HEAVINESS, through restlessness, through a tiredness that sleep alone cannot heal. This is why the monks never forced the breath. They softened it. They allowed it to become long, slow, almost invisible, not to achieve something, not to fix anything, but to remind the body of one essential truth. You are safe now. And you may have felt this yourself, in moments when you truly feel at ease. Your breath slows without instruction. Your face softens. Your body settles in its own. This is not a technique yet. It is a recognition, because once you see it, you begin to understand something important. Your body is not failing. It is waiting for permission to rest. And, in the next part, we will explore what the monks believe addressed beneath this breath. A deep, quiet energy at the base of the body. Not a myth, not a symbol, but a form of inner intelligence awakens naturally when the breath. Remember show to be gentle again. Asterisk, when people hear words like dragon energy, many instinctively pull back. It sounds mythical, symbolic, perhaps imaginary, and the monks understood this reaction well. They knew that if something feels unbelievable, the mind closed before the body has a chansetto. Listen, that is why they never asked. Pia Plato believe, only to observe, in ancient teachings. The dragon was never a creature to chase. It was a symbol of stored vitality, the deep strength that rests when it is not needed, and rises only when life truly calls for it. Physically, this vitality was always associated with the lower body, the belly, the hips, the base of the spine, not the head, not the chest. That the monks noticed a pattern. People who live it with steadiness and endurance. Farmers, elders, long-distance travelers, all carried their breath low. Their movements were unhurried, their voices steady, their presence grounded. In contrast, those living under constant urgency breathed high in the chest. They reacted quickly, but they tired just as quickly. You can see this today in very ordinary moments. Someone standing in line at the grocery store, jaw tight, shoulders lifted, already exhausted, bore the day has truly begun. Someone driving home in silence, hands gripping the wheel, body tensive, though nothing's happening. Outwardly, life looks calm. Inwardly, the breath is still preparing for impact. This is what the monks called the sleeping dragon. Not an energeto, awaken forcefully, but oneto, stop disturbing, because when the body feels safe, this deep vitality organizes itself naturally. Here is a monks Madevari, clearly. High energies, not the Samius deep energy. Coffee creates high energy. Stress creates high energy. Adrenaline creates high energy. But these burn. Fastened, leave him times bend. Deep energy is quiet, stable, enduring. It feels like moving through the day without rushing. Yourself, like having strength without tension. Many people believe they are tired they lack energy. In reality, they are tired because their energy never gets to rest. This is the quiet lesson. The body does not need more stimulation. It needs permission to settle, and that permission begins with where the breath is allowed to live. When the breath stays high, the nervous system stays alert. When the breath drops lower, the body receives a simple message. You can stand down now. Nothing mystical, nothing supernatural, just a languageth body horse, always understood. If you've been chasing energy, this is your invitation to stop and let energy come back to you. And in the next part, we will explore how chronic fatigue we quietly develoption. This deep energy remains unused for too long, and why many well-intentioned habits actually depend the exhaustion of healing it. Asterisk, most people believe healing happens while we breathe. Inhale more oxygen, exhale more tension, do it correctly, and the body will recover. But the monks noticed something far more subtle. Something so quiet that most people never think to look there. They saw that at its deepest, restoration did not happen during the breath itself, but in the silence between breaths. That small pause, that moment with no direction, so brief it often goes unnoticed. Yet, it is there that the body finally stops trying. When the body feels truly safe, it naturally rests in that space. Not because it was told to, but because it no longer needs to. Prepare. Think of the last time you felt genuinely at ease, not distracted, not entertained, not busy resting, but a moment when time seemed to soften on its own. Perhaps it was while watching the ocean in and out, or sitting quietly early in the morning, before the world asked anything of you, or holding someone you love, with no words needing to be said. In those moments, your breath likely slowed, and somewhere after the exhale, there was a pause. That pause is not empty. The monks understood it as a return point, where the nervous system realizes its grip, where the body stops scanning for what might go wrong. Modern life rarely allows this space. We rush the inhale, we rush the exhale, we fill every gap with sound, thought, or stimulation. Even silence now comes with background noise, a television playing softly, a podcast while driving, a phone in hand, even in bed. So the bodhisattva experiences true stillness, and without stillness, fatigue quietly builds. The monks did not try to control the breath. They respected the pause. They allowed the exhale to finish fully. And then they waited, not holding, not forcing, simply letting the body decide when it was ready. Breathe again. This silence sends a clear message to the nervous system. There is nothing you need to respond to right now. When the body hears this message repeatedly, it begins to reorganize itself. This is why many people feel exhausted when they breathe deeply. They are breathing more, but never resting between breaths. Here is the small lesson. Easy to overlook but powerful when understood. Healing doesn't come from adding more effort, it comes from allowing space between thoughts, space between actions, space between breaths. If this feels unfamiliar, that's not your fault. Most of us were never taught that rest happens between things, not only after them. You don't need to practice this yet, only notice it, because once you recognize the power of that silence, you'll understand we, the monks, treated it as sacred. And in the next part, we will gently explore how to work with the breath in a way that naturally invites this silence, without force, strain, or control. A way of breathing that feels less like doing, and more like coming home. Asterisk, most mornings begin the same way an alarm pulls the body out of rest. The mind rushes ahead, and before your feet talk the floor, your nervous system is already on alert. Many people wake up immediately try to push energy into the body. Coffee before water, news before breath, a mental to-do list forming but the day has even started. If mornings feel heavy, it's not because you're lazy, it's because your body is being rushed back into survival. The monks understood something simple and compassionate. The body does not need to be activated dawn, it needs to be welcomed back. Energy, they observed, returns naturally when the body does not feel threatened. So instead of forcing breath to be deeper powerful, they let it be gentle. Think of how the breath feels when you wake from deep, peaceful sleep, soft, unhurried, almost shy. That is the breath monks protected. They noticed that when People try to breathe correctly first thing in the morning. They often create, realizing it, the shoulders lift, the chest tightens, the breath becomes not tasked to perform, and energetically witches. The monks chose a different beginning. They alloweth breath to arrive for the dated. Imagine sitting at the edge, your bed, no phone, your hand, no screen stalking at you yet. You feel the weight of body supported. You inhale gently through the nose, not deeply. Just in auto, let the belly receive breath. Then you exhale as if there is no hero need to be. And at the end of that exhale, you pause. Not holding, not controlling, just listening. That pause is where morning energy builds, because in that quiet moment, the nervous system receives a new message. I am not late. I am not behind. I am here. Many people mistake morning fatigue for weakness, but often it is simply body asking not to be rushed back into alertness. Here is the small lesson monks lived by. Energy grows one. It is invited, not when it is demanded. This is why some people feel clearer and steadier after a calm morning, even without caffeine, and why others feel drained by midday. Doing everything right. Difference is not discipline. It is the tone off. The breath, gentle. Breath builds stable energy. Forced breath spends it. You don't need a long ritual. You don't need willpower, control. You only need to give the body a few moments to remember that waking up dues not mean being chased. And in the next part, we'll explore a simple breathing rhythm monks who said to guide the breath and the structure of thought, calms to nervous system while restoring strength. A rhythm thought feels steady, safe, and sustainable for everyday life. Asterisk, when people begin to slow their breath, a familiar question often arises. Am I doing this right? Should I be feeling something by now? The monks understood this question well. They knew that the moment will start checking's experience. The body quietly tightens again, so they offer a teaching that feels some most gentler for modern life. Release dose, not awisance itself. Some eravasis sensation, a warmth in the chest, a soft heaviness in the belly. A long sigh seems to come from nowhere. You might notice Seth's shoulders lowering, the jaw loosening, the breath becoming quieter without effort. These are signs body recognizes. But just as often, nothing dramatic happens, and that too is a signal of release. For many people, especially those who have lived in tension for years, the first signal of healing is not sensation, but absence. No urgency, no reaction, no need to adjust anything, just a neutral moment. Think of someone new who has been bracing themselves decades. Their nervous system does not open all at once. It listens first. Is it really safe now? Can I let go just a little? So if you sit quietly, and that is often the body testing the ground beneath it. Modern culture has taught you to results, a workout hold, burn, meditation should feel calm, breath, produce something noticeable, but healing does not respond to demands. It unfolds through trust. The monks often warn that forcing relationally teachiest body that it is still being evaluated. Here is small lesson the lived by. You are not practicing to feel something. You Our practicing toes stop interfering, and when the body begins to respond, sometimes quietly, sometimes slowly, sometimes in way so. Later, you may realize you are mourning that you slept more deeply, that your joys no longer clench be habit, that your days feel less heavy without explanation. Release often shows itself in life, not in the moment you are looking for it. So if no things imsto be happening, let that be enough. It means body is no longer being pushed, and in the next part, we'll bring this understanding into the evening, exploring how breath can help the body set the day down gently. So rest becomes truly restorative and a closing practice, not to escapeth day, but to release. Night revesquitly, but most body esto not, even if tath lights air off. The day often stays inside us. Unfinished conversations, shoulder still, holding the pastor off responsibility, a phoneristing nearby. Dark but not forgotten, thoughts could have gone differently. We lie down, the body rests, but the nervous system remains sock. The monks know Agathat, poor sleep was rarely caused be the night itself. It was caused be what the body was still carrying. They taught that sleepers not an escape from the day, it is a transition, and every transition requistal go. Think of Thazarare. Sleep comes easily, the breath slows, the body feels heavier, the mind loosens its grip without being asked. Nothing was fixed, nothing was solved. The body simply realized it no longer had to hold of everything touch. Most peer play go to bed still, holding the day. The alert, problem solving, the vigilance of unfinished duties. The breath's shape for effort, not rest. So the monks offer Ada, simplifying wisdom, not to think differently, but to breathe differently at night. They said, the exhale becomes more important than the inhale. The inhale comes life fine. The exhale turns what has accumulated, a longer, softer exhale tells the nervous system, the work is done. You can stand down. No, you already know these language. When something finally ends a long meeting, a difficult conversation, the body really asks a sigh. That sigh is not weakness, it is closure. The monks simply allowed that sigh to become intentional. Lying in bed, with the body fully supported, they breathed in gently through the nose, not deeply, not forcefully, and thenthy, as if pouring the weight of the into the mattress beneath them. No correcting, no counting. With each exhale, the body was invited to give something back to the night, attention, a memory, a sense of responsibility. Could wait until morning. Here is the quiet lesson they lived by. You do not sleep to recover, you release. Recovery opens on its own and release. Aloud, this is when feel restless, emotionally heavy days, and why even short. Sleep can feel deeply, restoring hand the but it lets go. If nights feel longevin when you are exhausted, nothing is wrong with you. It simply means day has not yet left your body. And in the final part, we will bring everything together, the morning breath, the pauses, the signs of release, and the night exhalant one a guntly rhythm, a rhythm not meant to perfect you, but to support you, one that fits real life, and grouse kinderich, Timo return to it. Asterisk 21, day sounds ordinary. 3 weeks, not a breakthrough, not a miracle, and yet, this is where most people quit, not because it practice feels, but because it feel fixed. The body feels safe. The monks understood Sanchim, modern life forget. Healing does not respond to pressure. It responds to permission. In the first few days, nothing dramatic happens. You still wake up tired, your mind still wander, storing the breath. Some mornings you forget practice completely, and this moment, this quiet disappointment, whereas old pattern trees too return. This isn't working. I'm doing it wrong. I don't have it discipline. But the monks never called this discipline. They called it returning. Forcing breath or change. You but showing up long enough for the body to stop defending itself. Weak owners about safety. The breath becomes quieter. The pauses. Effort sleep may not be longer, but it feels less sharp, less shallow, nothing impressive, just a subtle easing. And that is already healing. Week 2 brings something unexpected. The body begins to respond there. The mind gives instructions. Your shoulders waiting in line. Your breath slows during conversation. You realize you're no longer rushing even when you're on time. One view shared something simple but profound. After about 10 days, I noticed wasn't fighting me down. Surged. Life hadn't simplified, but resistance had faded, and this is the distant. Healing does not always sad energy first. Often, it removes friction by week 3. Fatigue wins its voice. It no longer feels like failure. It feels like information. I need rest. I need space. I need breath. The body stops buying an immune, becomes a guide again. Here is the quiet truth. Monks lived by conscious body safety. Safety allows healing. Not intensity, not belief, not perfection, even missing a dados. Not undouth work. It teaches patience. It reminds us body that gentleness is still available, and if no thing's stowed, that does not mean a thing is happening. Some of the Depestialingacus roots forming gungda before in a soil. The body is not lazy. It is careful. If you've stayed with this video until now, you may already been your first week, whether you realize it or not. And now, in the final part, we step back to seethe. Whole rhythm, not as a routine to follow, not as another thing to succeed at, but as a way of living with. Breathe as a companion, one that supports you day by day, because you are never broken. You were unlittered off. There is a quiet relief that comes when you stop trying to fix yourself, not because anything's care but by Kosua. Finulondersta were never damaged in the first place. The monks never saw a flaw. They saw itas, a message, a gentle The body and the breath hard slowly drifted apart. Arrives loudly at commissus, heaviness in the morning, as impatience with small things, as the feelings that lift more effort than it once did. Most people interpret thesis, failure, but what if it simply means of been breathing to survive instead of breathing to The monks believe it the breath never meant to be mechanical. It was meant to be relational, something new, returned to especially heen. Life PKM's heavy. One man shared that, after weeks of practice, nothing in his outer life had changed. Same home, same responsibilities, same challenges, but inside, something's softened. He said, I realized I wasn't bracing myself against my own life anymore. Number dramatic breakthrough, no sudden energy surge, just a quiet reconnection and status. What he looks like. Not becoming so new but remembering you were before everything became urgent, before every breath was rushed, before rest undeserved. Here is the lesson monks left behind. You do not heal by trying harder, you heal by listening longer. When the breath is met with presence, the body reorganizes itself naturally. Energy returns without being chased. Sleep deepens without being demanded. Calm appears without explanation. This is no technique, it is a relationship. And like any relationship, it grows stronger each time you return, especially on the days you forget. Tonight, when you lie down, nothing needs to change. No goals, no fixing, just notice your breath and allow it to support you. If this journey has resonate with you, this is the spirit of wisdom. Quiet, a place for slowing down, for remembering what the world's taught used to ignore, for healing through awareness, not urgency. If this video brought you even a small sense of ease, please like it, subscribe it. A wisdom Quieto. Continue walking this path together and share it with someone you may be tired and wasty, don't know how to explain. Before you go, write in the comments, I return to my breath. Not fourth algorithm. For yourself, and ask yourself this: when waste last time your breath truly felt like support, because you were never broken, you were only disconnected, and now you've begun to come home.